Hi, everybody see me okay? And I'm not in portrait mode. That's the first thing I want to ask you all. I'm just getting organised here. Anybody see me? Perfect, thank you. That's good. I'm just glad that you're all there. I am not used to doing lives, as most of you probably know. I still can't get it up on my... There we go. I want to get it up just so I can see your comments. Thank you everybody for coming over today. So today, casting, I'm going to keep it to what I'm known for really. I do quite a combination of stuff, but today it is definitely going to be casting, and I'm going to be casting some pen blanks today, and what I'm going to be doing is glow in the dark and UV colours. So I'm just going to check the messages. We've got an hour, so I've got plenty of time to go through this. So I'm not in any particular rush, but what I am after is probably about halfway through, once I get all the resins and that mixed up, if anybody's got any questions or if they want to ask anything about the resins or casting or anything at all really, I'm open to answering any of these questions for you today. So basically I'm going to start with one large block mould, which is this here. This takes about 500 mils of resin. And these bits that are in here are UV, so they only light up with UV light. So I'm going to put some more of these in. These are called ribbons. I'll do a lot of explaining in case there's some people here that don't normally watch me. So these are ribbons. I make them in big sheets. I basically just cast the resin. The resin I predominantly use is Amazing Clear Cast. So I just cast it in big sheets. The board that I cast on is HDPE, so nothing sticks to it anyway. Wipes down and cleans easy. So basically I mix up resin, pour this onto the top, slice them up, and then I end up with these, which are quite brittle and hard. But I heat them up then, just using a heat gun, and it bends them round so that I can make them into curves like that. So I should do a little bit more than that. I'm going to move this camera down a bit though, because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So this is the glow in the dark ones I'm using. Now I'm going to switch this light off here because it's quite a bright light I've got in this room. So these light up, let's have a look. So these all glow at different colours. I've made a few bits for custom orders lately. Thanks for coming along, Jay. So yeah, get some glows in the dark doing. I did some knife scales as a custom order, and they've come out particularly well and were really popular. So I've never done them as pen blanks because, as most of you know, when you turn pens, the last thing you want is a resin that's partially see-through, because then you have to paint your tubes. But with these you will have to paint your tubes. But I've found easier ways of doing that now with using acrylic pens on your tubes and stuff like that. So I don't think it's as hard as when I was first advised to do it. It was all paint, and that was a nightmare because it didn't used to dry, and then you couldn't get the tubes in because it was all blocked up with paint. But nowadays you can just use acrylic pens on your tubes, and then you don't tend to see through them. Or if you do, at least you've got a background colour. So I've already poured my resin here just to try and save us on that. And I've got the ribbons here. I'm just going to warm these up. Be a little bit noisy. Pretty straightforward. They don't take a minute to heat up. Does the sound all right for you all there? So that's them. They're so easy bend. So we'll get these into this block. And get some green in here. Once they cool down again, they go back to being hard. And then obviously once you pour the resin in, because the resin heats up to a certain temperature, then they do get a little bit flexible again, and sometimes they end up poking out a bit, but never had too disastrous results with it. Right, so I think that'll do us, basically. Be a good start anyway. These are other ones I make, but these are glow in the dark, and usually when I cast these and cut them, I push them into shape, just shove them in a mould, and then they stay like that, so that makes it easy to cast with at that point. So we'll get the resin mixed up. Take that out of the way. So, Amazing Clear Cast. It's an epoxy, slightly softer than a polyurethane, which a lot of the American market use a polyurethane. I use both. If I'm doing night scales, I'll use Alumilite Clear, and if I'm doing pen blanks, I will use Amazing Clear Cast. And pretty much all the boxes and stuff that I make is with Amazing Clear Cast as well. Although the advantage of the polyurethane is that you can get it out of the pressure pot in 2 hours. So if I need something quick, and you could pretty much turn it, I could cast today with Amazing Clear Cast, and I would probably be about 3 days before I can turn it. But with Alumilite Clear, I could probably tomorrow I would put it on a lathe and start turning it. So there is a bit of a difference with that. The Amazing Clear Cast is about 45 minutes pot life. Today, as you know, the country's decided to go into summer, so it could be around 35 minutes by the time it gets up to temperature. Temperature that I pretty much will cast at is between 110 Fahrenheit and 120 for the best results. It depends what you're looking for. If you want a really tight swirl with lots of thinness of the colour in it, then you're going to put it into the pot a lot earlier. But I like my colours really, really defined, so I'll leave it virtually between 110 and 120. So got the two lots here. Got just over 500 actually, purely only because I measured a bit wrong and I wasn't going to put it back in the pot. Some of the biggest problems with the epoxy resin is not stirring enough. I normally do about 500 ml moulds at a time within an hour, because that's what fits in my pressure pot, and I stir each one 6 minutes, so there'll be three big pots like that, and they get stirred 6 minutes each. I don't do it any less because you're likely to run into problems with it not being mixed properly. Whereas you couldn't do that with the Alumilite Clear, because it would be hard in the pot, because it's only 12 minutes pot life. So it gets very long and boring. And today you lot have got to join me to do this. So anyway, how many's out there now? 72 watching. I don't think I've ever had 72 people watching me before. So thank you very much for coming along. I was at work this morning, so I did manage to see a few bits in between unofficial breaks, just to make sure that everything was going okay with everybody. But got home from work just over an hour ago, so plenty of time to get ready for casting. These containers, I just get them from, it's just a local shop, and they're actually used for paint, but they're great. And any sticks really, these are just plastic ones. They last a long time, these plastic sticks. This is actually a proper resin one, which I think I got it free when I ordered something from a shop. I can't even remember what shop, it was that long ago. So yeah, the biggest bulk of your time with the casting is choosing your colours and doing your stirring. Temperature's pretty cool at the minute. 68 Fahrenheit, so it's really cool. Loads of time. The room that I have here it's the utility room in my house actually, but it keeps really cool. But I can heat it well in the winter so that I can keep the resin casting about same temperature, and usually a room will be 19 to 20 when I cast, so I can pretty much guarantee that resin will be ready in a certain amount of time. It's probably a tiny little bit warmer here today because Scotland's got a bit of sun. So have you all had a really good day? I was just watching the last bit of Stuart. His stuff is amazing. So just 2 minutes in. So has there been any other casters on today? I know Jake's coming on later. You lot are having a whale of a time in there. Epoxy's a very thick resin to stir. Consequently, why it takes such a long time to make sure it's all stirred in. So that's for what, just over 3 minutes in. And it's probably mixed now. The next 3 minutes are all just to make sure. Hi Mark. Yeah, the next 3 minutes is just to make sure, because it doesn't matter how many years you've cast for, you still make mistakes. So to avoid making those mistakes, I just keep stirring. The pigments that I'm using today are the Alumilite for the UV resin, and these, I think I just picked these up off Amazon. These colours, there's a lot of mica powders and stuff out there now, and really reasonably priced. Most of what I use is Caster's Choice for the actual pen blanks. Thanks Claire. I was just explaining at the beginning about casting them, pretty easy to cast. Having a HDPE base, I could pour it straight onto this base and leave it till the next day, and then just cut them up with scissors. They cut really very, very fine. And then you just warm them up to bend them. Any resin will do, it doesn't need to be anything particularly fancy. Right, just coming up to 5 minutes in. And then we'll start dividing it up into pots. You always check your resin to make sure you don't have any ribbons in it. I probably didn't have any ribbons in it about 2 minutes ago, but final last stir in. so many new people I haven't seen before. Thank you very much for dropping by. Right, keep checking. I've got the my iPad there as well, because it's a bit bigger, because it's very difficult to see it on that little screen on my phone. Okay, that's just about 6 minutes now. Well enough mixing. So just plastic, the cheapest plastic cups that I can get hold of. These also clean really well, but often by the time you get ready to pour the resin, it's starting to set in the cups. So I very rarely actually save the cups. The best cups to use are actually silicone, if you can get them. I do have a few of them, but they're not big enough for the casting today. So I think we'll do 6 different colours. Thank you, that's very kind of you. There's a lot of resin casters out there now, I've got a lot of competition. So just going to divide this between these cups. Okay, that container can be cleaned now. Right. Let's divide this up a little bit. Okay. Let's see if we can get this down a little bit, so you can see a little bit better. So, going to be pretty random with these colours really. Looking for something nice and bright. And summer-like, because it's summer out. See, you get quite a good glow on these. Hi Vicky. So you can't really see me here, but I would prefer that you've seen the colours of the resin really. Right, I'm going to have a bit of a guess with this, because with glow colours it's not really the standard amount that you go with. I usually go with about half a teaspoon to get the colours really rich, but glow colours often need more, and then they're heavy so they drop to the bottom of the cups easier. But you do, with these ones here, you seem to get a really good mix. Keep an eye on this time. So we're only about 9 minutes in. I've probably got no temperature on this resin still. Up to 74, so from 68 to 74, so it's warming nicely but not too quickly. Apple green is lovely. Hi Carl, thanks for popping in. Right, couple more to go. Any questions out there? Oh, yeah. Are they glow colours? Vicky, yes. These are... I'll switch this light off so you can just have a quick look. These are all glow colours. So these ones glow, and they do glow really brightly. And the colours that I've got in here are UV, so they're only work with a black light. So it gives it a bit of a contrast on a blank. So at least, because I'm a bit hesitant often about casting with UV colours, because how many people walk around with a blue light or a black light? You just don't. So I'm often hesitant to use them. Some people will ask me specifically for that. But if you're selling it on to somebody, you can't. It looks great under the black light, but you can't see it otherwise. So I very rarely do them. Like I say, I had this order for the knife scales, and I did lots and lots of knife scales with it. And that looks, for the Pacific project that he had in mind, it looked amazing. But they are really, really bright. They hold the colours well. Of course, I'm not going to be able to show you these all cut here, but I will put posts up onto Instagram, and there is links down below. So it'll be Monday they'll go up. Alan asks what resin you're using. I'm using Amazing Clear Cast. It's epoxy resin. It's my favourite resin for pen blanks, but it's no good for kitless. It can only be used for, and it's no good for knife scales neither, really. It can only really be used for tubed pens. It's fine for the boxes I make, and it's also fine for like bottle stoppers and stuff like that. But if for like knife scales or kitless blanks, kitless pens should I say, then you use it Alumilite Clear, which is a polyurethane. It's a bit heavier and it's more solid. It'll last a little bit longer. This is beautiful to turn because you get lovely ribbons and you get a beautiful shine on it, but it's softer. Of course, I don't have a mask on today. My mask is here. So I normally wear this when I'm casting. Really, really important that you have the correct one as well. I've used many in the past and they actually weren't the right ones. I eventually found the right one. Question. So the polyurethane takes a thread better? Yes, I would definitely say it would. Yeah. And that's why I do a lot of kitless blanks, but I do them mainly as custom order. A lot of my blanks, I think some people do use them. I've seen some of my blanks and the epoxy blanks on them, but so they must take a thread, but really I recommend using a polyurethane just to be sure. You want the right resin. If you're going to go into all that work, kitless pens, the amount of work in them, you want them right, so you want to use the right resin for them. So really what I do with these now is I just keep watching for the heat to go up. So we're up to about 76, 78 in that one. And it'll be the first one that reaches, I'll probably go at about 110. So the first pot here to reach 110, I'll pour them all. And the colours will not blend at that. So it should work out really well. Any more questions? I don't know if I missed any. Yeah, the music gigs do use black light, and I had that in mind when I've thought about different projects. Like some of the rings that I do, if I do like the secret ring type style, I'll use I use the Alumilite UV, because people will be out with these rings on, because that's the type of ring that they are. So as soon as the UV lights hit it, it just looks like the Northern Lights in it. So I do, the UV is brilliant if you're going out and about. But not many people carry a pen, do they? Oh, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Yeah, certainly. Let me put this up a little bit. So this is a JSP mask. If you're in the UK, I think it's Screwfix actually do the mask. So these actually unscrew off here, or unclip off here. They are incredibly tight, right enough. It's that way. Oh, I'm not going to pull them off now. But these filters you buy separate. So there's two different types of filters, and it's to make sure you don't get the wrong one. You need the JSP. I'm trying to find out the right thing. I think it's A2P3. This is it here. Now I couldn't get those from Screwfix. I could get them from Amazon. They're a bit more pricey than the standard ones. So, but the great thing is about it is you've got one you can use for your wood, and then this one you'll use for your resin. This is the only filters I've found specifically for resin. So there might be others out there, but I just haven't found them. What I might do later is I'll have a look for it, and I will tag the mask in at the bottom for you, so that you can definitely get the right one. They should be able to. I think you probably get them everywhere. Could be wrong. When I look, I'll have a look to see for Amazon, the US. Is it the USA you are? The mask A2P3 are all at Toolstation. Yeah. I knew there was somewhere, but I just couldn't get the filters at the time. But they might have them now. I've had that one for a little while. Because there's warnings all over the resins and that now. I think when I first looked at resin, there wasn't that many warnings on them, but today I've got the back door open because I've not got the mask on. Yeah, 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 because this was what I actually used before, which is actually perfect for the shed, for the wood turning, but not perfect for the resin. But that was a 3M one. Of course, trying to get hold of a mask for a while was a nightmare, because I think people were wearing these outside. Minutes in. If so, in case anybody didn't hear, so this is about minutes pot life. That's what they say is the maximum that it can sit in a pot before you pour it and get it in pressure chamber. If that's what you do, putting it in a pressure chamber. And I've made blanks with and without. It's better with, but you can do it with or without, with the epoxy, but not with a polyurethane. It has to go in a pressure pot, and that pot life is about 12 minutes, but then you're taking it out of the pot and demoulding it in 2 hours. So I've never left mine beyond 2 hours. 2 hours my alarm goes off in the kitchen, tells me that the polyurethane is ready, and I can get that out straight away. Yes, make a better life. Yeah, JSP, I know. They are really popular now. You can get loads, and there's all the different filters, isn't there, for all the different things that you do. see how this is getting on now. Up to 82. When you get up to about, usually once I get into the 90s, the time goes pretty quick then. So have you all had a great day? Have you all been watching all day? Just want to give a shout out as well. After me is Spirit and Bear. I think she does carving and stuff. She's coming straight after me. So yeah, don't forget to I've put the links in the bottom, I think, for you. Yeah, all the links are there. So you should be able to press on at that time. They're quite deep, these colours. For a glow in the dark and for cheap ones. I'll add the link in down below for these as well. I don't think they were very expensive at all. You can also use them on your nails. Fine art and DIY crafts. Resin. Resin comes from House of Resin. Ah, there. It's back. I have no idea what happened there. Ah, there we go. Right, can you see it now? I think I should be back now. Ah, good. That's good. Right, what was somebody asking? Yeah, no, I don't have another one in the oven to pull out. All my blanks are over there, but I've never done these ones as a pen blank before. So I've got a link below. On Monday, I'll have them up on Instagram. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. My iPad is still frozen, but it's back on there. This resin here this is UK, so this is the biggest one. So it's 2 gallon, I think, total, gallon each, and it's 139 for that. But you get an awful lot of blanks out of that. It's Highland Boxes and then underslash. I think in the description's my link. You should be able to click onto that. Well, you can go on to, you can go on to Instagram anyway. Even if you don't, you'll be able to see a picture. But what I may do is I may take this, well, I'll probably leave this one up, but I might do a quick time lapse and then I'll put the pictures up at the end of it. I could edit that next week and get it up for you, so it'll be there for you to see. Because I know there is a lot of people don't have all the socials. I did think about doing it with Alumilite Clear, but I still wouldn't have had it out of the pot in an hour. Temperature about 85. So still got a bit to go yet. Put this down a bit so you can see the colours. So yeah, what resin is it you're using yourself? There's so many resins out there now, there's so many companies. It's afterwards is Spirit and Bear, and I think they do carving. I only really realised who she was today, so it's somebody that I'm going to follow on and watch myself. Yeah, you must have quite a collection now, JP. No, you've got to turn them. There's no point keeping them. I keep these up till about, I work in Fahrenheit, and about 110 to 120 Fahrenheit before I pour it. Just if you want your colours to be really defined. So you can pour way before that and you'll still get pen blanks and they'll still be rock solid, but you won't get the colour separation as much. Yes, turned blanks definitely look better. It's something that I've heard a few times, that I've sent blanks out to somebody and they've said, oh, they're all blocky. And I said, well, you've got to turn them, because inside they're not blocky. They're very swirly once they're turned. They look very blocky on the outside and swirly on the inside. Up to 87. Temperature's moving a bit quicker now. I might turn one of these into a pen myself. Yes, yeah. Yeah, the resin's great for urns and for the big wood turning projects. It's just the price of it is often the thing, I think, that's the killer with the resin. So that's why I was wondering what people use, because for some of the bigger projects you're not going to be wanting to spend so much money. The ribbons, Jennifer. So I pour resin just like I would into a pot like this, and then the surface that I cast on it's great big HDPE sheets, and I just basically pour it straight onto the HDPE sheet, leave it overnight, and the next morning I come along and it just pops off this surface, and then I can just cut them with scissors. Jen, when you use vacuum, when you used to vacuum the resin, did it ever totally stop bubbles? It did. For me, I would put this into the vacuum chamber and it did. I would have no bubbles and then I'd pour it out. I really didn't have any problem. It was just too slow for me. That was the biggest issue. Yes, these are definitely pen blanks. You will have to paint the inside of the tube. You can paint the inside of the tube with acrylic pens. So, and you can, there is some, if it's a 10mm tube on a pen, I think some of them sell them white, and some people spray them. I've sprayed the tube before, and I've painted the tube before, but I mostly paint the hole on the inside before I glue the tube. That's really what I do now, and you can do that with an acrylic pen. Yeah, some kits do come with pre-painted white tubes. Yeah, I think you can buy 10mm ones. Hi Spirit and Bear. That Spirit and Bear is going to be up next, so yeah, once you paint the tubes, and you can use contrasting colours, so you could paint it white and then the colours will look whiter, but if you particularly like a green or something, paint them green, and then when the other colours go in, it doesn't affect them, it just gives it a totally different look. Right, let's check where this resin's going. It's getting quite thick now. What's the time doing? 20 minutes. Doing good for time. I do hate the smell of resin though. Not that there's much smell, but after all the years of casting, there tends to be a distinctive aroma around it. So we're up to 88. It'll start speeding up. We're 32 minutes in, so that's pretty much right, 30 to 40 minutes. I think it's keeping it a little bit cooler because I've got the back door open. Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, right, let me check. Anybody else asking anything? CJ's hobbies, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can paint it white. Thank you, Rex. Ribbons has been something I've done for quite a long time. It can add something really different. I like making Banksia pods, blanks and ribbons, and that look really nice in that one as well. I've never tried that Silmar. Is that a polyester resin? Yes, yeah, I have heard of people actually just putting your mica powder or whatever through your epoxy and putting it into the tube, yeah. Because there's nothing more annoying than it comes through the tube and then all you can see is the glue mark, is it? And then the tube through it, the gold. Liquid diamonds, never been able to get that in the UK, so I've never tried that one. Not that they really smell, you know, because people, they talk about resin, but they don't really smell, but there's just something that comes off them. That's why, you know, you should wear a mask. If you can smell it, you should wear a mask. It's not worth the risk. Now I can feel these getting quite hot now. That's really nice, Jen. I'm glad I could help. I've learnt so much from YouTube myself, just so much. I watched Peter Brown and Zach when I started. Of course, I fell into making pen blanks. It wasn't a plan. I do have a pressure pot because obviously the business side of things, I make a lot of blanks and sell them, and when people buy a blank they expect it to be perfect. When I, as I said, fell into making blanks right at the start, I just made them for myself. I didn't use a pressure pot. I didn't even vacuum them all the time, and I didn't particularly have a problem neither. Now, when I first got into resin casting, I couldn't get this size a container of Amazing Clear Cast. I could only get the really small bottles, and they were, for that really small bottle, it was about £25 at a time. So I only ever used it for doing the jewellery side of things because it shines so well. And then I just fumbled around trying to get hold of other resins. I think there was only a couple of companies at the time that really did the resins then, right in the beginning. And I tried the polyester resin, and oh my god, the blanks were awful. All they did was chip away. That was my first experience of casting. Thank you all. Thank you all. I'm just glad that I could share something with you. I know I haven't really been around so much lately. Hoping to get back to that now, but... So, let's see what temperature the blanks are now. So we're up to 91 now. It goes really quickly at this stage often. I mean, this is a pretty easy cast for me. I can have up to 10 colours in some of the blanks, and I can have 3 sets of that. So today is quite nice and chilled out, and it's really nice to be able to see what you're talking about and that. That's great, glad I could help. Like I say, ever got any questions, you know, just find me on socials. And I'm pretty much, most of my videos covers everything about blanks, and it's what was current 2 years ago is still current right now. Right, check this temperature again. 93. Starts to speed up really quickly. So I have a compressor which is just in a little cold room. So I put the compressor on in the hope that I wouldn't have to make too much noise in here. Ah, my shirt is falling apart. So yeah, I think the back might have something on it. I don't know, it might be back to front because we are on the phones, of course. Nice of you to say, Claire, thank you. Thank you, Doug. You have a good day too. Big wipes to clean everything as well. So you don't have to keep throwing these containers out. Yeah, I think it do, yeah. Master Caster is exactly what it said. It was a great t-shirt. We'll have to get another one made, it's falling apart. Yes, I use wood all the time. Probably what I'm known for best is wood. So, and I use Scottish elm mostly and Scottish oak. It's all, I get it locally up the west coast of Scotland. So that's probably what I'm known for the most. It's just because a lot of people have wanted to see a lot more resin stuff lately, so I've been doing a lot more resin. Can I see in the white box? In this one here. This is the ribbons. So these ones are just for UV. So they don't glow in the dark, those ones. They'll only shine under black light. And you know, you don't get a don't ever get a sponsor for paper towel. We use so much of it. Right, let's check this resin again, in case I missed the moment. That's not the hottest of them. Five, I've got a bit yet. What time are we on there? Yeah, I think we'll leave it a couple more minutes. We're up to 95. Don't think, I probably will be pouring at about 100 because I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and then we'll get them poured. I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see. Yeah, we're just sitting on 100 here. So I'm going to see if I can move this over a little bit. squishes for a start. Yes, jumpy they do. Do cleaning up all our mess. Okay, so let's go, I think. I actually just got some beautiful woods that I got coming in from America. Buckeye burl. That's what you call it. So I'm going to be casting some of them soon. I've never cast that, so I'm looking forward to actually turning a pen with it. These will go in the pressure pot until I'll take them out tomorrow morning actually. And that will be about 12 hours, but you don't, I've taken them out of the pressure pot in 8 hours, but demould in about 12 hours. Okay, so here goes. These are going to have some crazy lighting. I'll shine the light on them before I put them into the pressure chamber. Never waste a bit of resin. It gets pretty thick towards the end, but it's amazing how much time you actually do get. Right, let's have a look here. I'm going to switch this light off. Let's see if we can get this. You won't truly see it until we get there. Yeah, you get a good glow in there. So we'll have a look and see what they look like once they're done. So like I say, right, let me put you back here. Sorry, a bit of seasickness. It'll be tomorrow before I get them out of the pressure pot. And I'm actually working tomorrow. I already got them cut tomorrow. One of the most terrifying things I've got is a pressure pot. Nice to see you, James. Turning Up Museum. Oh, that sounds interesting. Thank you very much, Rex. So, yeah, this is the most lethal thing I have, is a pressure pot. Thank you, Carl. My pleasure. Everybody, the next one to go to is Spirit and Bear. So don't forget to head off there and just check out what she's going to be doing. I shall be in the chat. And thank you very much, everybody. Like I say, I may be putting another video up in the week, just a quick run through of the video, and or just put a thing up of the blanks at the end. I look, just £60. Yeah, £60 of pressure. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Brian. So good to see so many here. Thank you, Steve and Peter. Oh, Andy, what's happening? Perfect. Thank you, Vicky. At least you got here in the end, Andy. My pleasure, James. Enjoyed making the blanks for you. Ah, can't wait to see what they look like. Oh, somebody's just ordered something. Thank you very much, whoever that was. I've got a funny feeling it may well have come through from this. Okay, everybody, have a great evening, and thank you very much. And I'll see you in the chat all.